Good morning, everybody. Can you see me and hear me? Is my mic on? Good morning. Let me find a radio station. Thank you, Debbie. I'm going to stay on for about an hour today because it's Gavin's last day of break. So we're going to do an hour and then I have to hop off. Good morning. Thank you, Linda. All right, let me go to the top. Will I get the job next week at the probation service in City Center? Is it meant for me? It's like there's some kind of delay in the hiring process, or there's something that's blocking this being like a straight shot right now. Almost feels like you'll understand why, though. This may be a delay in how long it takes, or it may be almost like the amount of candidates that they're hiring changes or something like that. I feel like going and trying, it does feel like you're meant to be heading in that direction. So something about this experience is necessary. Message, please. Is this fuzzy? Yes, it is fuzzy. Okay. Oh, what did I do? 1 second. What button did I press? There we go. Okay. There's this energy of being mindful of falling back into old patterns. It's almost like in terms of internal dialogue or something in that your mind is focusing on is pulling you backwards instead of allowing you to go forward. So there's a need to kind of pour into yourself right now when it comes to being mindful of being pulled back into old patterns. What do I have to look forward to in 2025? It's like this death and rebirth that comes to a specific shadow. But it's almost like something that you've kind of been waiting to face, that finally it's time to do so. And as I fix the computer, it's like you're seeing things from a different angle. So it feels like there's a lot of clarity coming from unpacking a shadow wound in a different way so that you no longer have to carry the weight of it. Message from my spirit guides. Dozens of small crows came in my backyard this morning. So I'm pretty sure it's crows that a group of them is called a murder. This is the energy of like death of the ego in some way when it comes to what was blocking your emotions. It's almost like you're not experiencing like a death and a rebirth. You're experiencing this stripping away of something that wasn't you, that you were holding. And it's almost like that was the completion of this lesson or this cycle, like a sign of completion. Message from Sean, Dad, or Gran. Lotus by Janine Aikio. Aiko. Dad or Gran. There's a need to let yourself go through the stage of grief that you feel to be stuck in. It doesn't feel like with their passing. It feels like with something else, like getting pulled into this cycle of grief, but one of the 5 stages is difficult to get through. I almost feel like it's anger, like letting yourself feel the anger of a situation so that you can release it. Because Lotus is like growing through the mud, growing through the hard times that you've gone through. Any guidance for this week? Feels like your boundaries are going to be tested in some way. So there's a need to like stick with the same energy that you had when you set the boundary. It almost feels like this is going to be a boundary of time, like almost like maybe someone not respecting your time or taking your time for granted or something to that effect, maybe wasting your time. There's a need to kind of stand in the boundaries with the same energy that you set them with. Any insight to how successful my conscious educator ebook and workbook will be? I feel like there's a need to connect to the dots in a different way. Educator ebook and workbook will be. I feel like this is not saying it's not going to be successful. This is saying there's still different choices to be made that can make it more successful when it does come. Pausing to reconnect the dots, maybe like getting someone who doesn't really know that much about it to look at it and say, okay, this is where this wouldn't all the way make sense to me. Maybe I have Ace of Pentacles on the bottom, so that may be kind of what helps it get to where it needs to be. Is Amber a true friend to my sister? Why does she tease my sister so much? It feels like because of her own shadow wounds, but I don't know if she knows how to be a true friend. It doesn't feel like it's specifically your sister. It just feels like it's her in general, that her shadows make her view friendship in this like jealousy way. Like I'm friends with you and then I become jealous of something that you have. And then I kind of have this shadow that irritates me about it. I feel like she's as true of a friend as she knows how to be, which is not that much. What does 11, 12, 24 look like for me? Feels like a plan coming into place and then a little bit of like I drag my feet on a final decision. So it feels like you're going to be either presented with two paths or you're going to come up with a solution for the path that you're continuing to stay on. It feels more like a fork in the road. To figure out which is the proper way to go. Song for my spiritual committee about my doctor's appointment this morning. So Alive by Goo Goo Dolls. Came right out. Feeling like a hero, but I can't fly. Never gonna live if you're too scared to die. Gonna disconnect from the hard wire. Time to raise the flag for the ceasefire. I feel like the feeling you may struggle with this morning is that of like, this just isn't fair, which you're right. There's this feeling of finding the joy in the simple moments of today is where you'll find your alignment. So maybe take yourself for like a little mini date or coffee or something. Is Z back with A again? Z, A, between. It feels like Z is trying to go there. A is a little bit more standoffish, but is allowing Z some leeway, but it doesn't feel like back together. When will I hear about the job I interviewed for? I feel like there's a need to follow up. I don't know if that means that they're looking for the person that's doing like will follow up or if it's just something being overlooked. It feels like if you follow up again or for the first time is the next step. Will ATS refund us? Feels like you're going to have to kind of put up a fight for it, but it will eventually go that way if you don't. I almost want to say if you don't let it go. So it may be not at first, but then you push forward, or it may be because you've been pushy with it. If you have, then they'll do it. But it feels like there's a little pushing needed on your part. Message from my mom and a song. 1 second. Hold My Hand by Hootie and the Blowfish. With a little love and some tenderness, we'll walk upon the water, we'll rise above the mess. The way to get clarity on the next step forward is to take everybody else's opinions out of it and focus on what feels right to you. If nobody else's opinion was even there, right step for you. That's how you give yourself clarity. I feel a blocked energy. What can I do to unblock it? Stress and burnout, lack of purpose. So there's a need to kind of find your why or reconnect with your why here. It almost feels like you're doing a lot, but you're not finding fulfillment from it. And it may be that you're not really sure what would fulfill you right now. So it's as you focus on that, you'll kind of draw in opportunities to align with that energy. I almost want to say like find something that really interests you right now in like I feel spiritually connected to myself when I'm focusing on this thing that interests me, whether that's a book series or learning something. It's like that little shift will help open up more doors. Message token. It's a monkey. Okay. It's a funny one. Interesting because I was just watching this morning about the monkeys that escaped the testing facility. I forget where it was. I think it was like 13 monkeys or a number of monkeys. I can't remember. Maybe 6. The group. This is giving like give yourself the grounding. When you ground yourself, you're going to escape from whatever it feels like you're being continuously tested in. Like the tests will stop as you ground yourself because you're going to find the path forward. Message. Feels like you're learning the hard way that not everybody has the same heart as you, and you won't always get in return what you give to others. There's a need to understand that that's not personal. It's not because of you. It's because they haven't met themselves to that depth yet. It feels like that's the key to understanding whatever recently unfolded or is about to unfold. Go to this list for a minute. Will I get a new position outside of accounting? It feels like something that you do in accounting is going to also be part of a different position. So I don't know if it's like just a different job in finances or like focusing on maybe like just doing the books or just doing like one thing, tunnel vision version of what you're already doing, or like a same category, different position type of thing. Because it's like you're traveling, but not traveling, but you're going to have the opportunity to expand or make more money. And it's almost with the High Priestess reverse, like maybe if you're not enjoying accounting right now and you're like, I want to get out of this completely, it's like, oh, well, I actually will find enjoyment in this like pivot type of thing. Like I didn't expect to not hate this as much as I disliked the other thing, but it's like either a tunnel visioned or like a side step in the same theme. Will my youngest son get a divorce, and will it bring our relationship back? I feel like there's this continuous giving another try. Kind of feels like a bit of a trauma bond. If I'm in a trauma bond, I'm not going to do things that trigger my emotions. It feels like not at this time. It feels like things would need to, yeah, 3 of Swords on the bottom. It's like needing to experience that rock bottom first, and I'm not there yet because the trauma bond has convinced me that that's the way to avoid other trauma, if that makes sense. What is the lesson for us on this election? Was it stolen? What is the lesson? To not necessarily wait around for someone else to bring everything that we're meant to do without having to be forced to, if that makes sense. Let me get a song for that. Interesting. Find a Way by Fearless Motivation. Message from Highest Spirit with token. It's a thumbtack. Like put a pin in it type of thing. Oh. So putting a pin in it up on a board would be so you could sit there and observe it. So it feels like there is this either shadow wound or inner child wound specifically that's either coming to the surface for you or that you're helping assist in someone else. It's almost like the only way out is through. Before, don't run away from it, sit with it, because it's bringing up some kind of necessary shifting of perspective before you move forward. Do one more and then back to the other list. What is this month preparing me for and when? To take your power back in some kind of creative endeavor. It's November, December, January, February, March. March-ish. Almost like well, yeah, Queen of Wands is, it's like the springtime is bringing this rebirth of a creative endeavor, and something about now is preparing you for then. Why am I being shown so many synchronicities? Interesting. I felt called to switch the song, and it's I'm a Star by Jay Critch, and it shows a football field, which would be like the number element. Communication in a protective way from others. It's either synchronicities that show you or point to where you may be giving away your power to others or shrinking yourself in some way. It's almost like communication to help you take back your power from anything you feel codependent on. All right, I'm going back to this list. Let me find where I was. Accounting, I did that one. Here we are. Any message from my spirit guides for me this week? There's a need to show up in a certain situation with another individual in a way that would make your past self be like, okay, cool, we finally conquered that lesson. So maybe that lesson is kind of boundaries or lack thereof. Maybe the lesson is looking for the best when they may not be presenting as the best type of thing. It's like showing up in a way that would make that version of you know that you completed the lesson that has been persistent. What's my current energy? trying to build a structure of clarity. This is like getting all the puzzle pieces on the table so you can put them all together in a way that helps you move forward. Unpacking something with logic, using your emotions as teachers. This is like a preparation for what comes next. Message and a song from my dad. I Can See Clearly Now by Johnny Nash. I can see clearly in a way I wasn't able to when I was down here. Communication with you that I held back on. It feels like there's a lot that he wishes now he could have said to you in terms of just feels like he held back a lot with knowing how to articulate emotions in a way that now he feels like he's trying to show up and kind of show you in different ways, or maybe will now. There's this feeling of like you've been presented with maybe thoughts or ideas of what you may feel like he wishes he could have said more of. And this is more of like a confirmation of that, if that makes sense. Message from my spirit guides that I need to know or work on, and a song. Learning to Fly by the Weepies. Before you can fly, you must ground. So there's a need to figure out where it is that you're trying to fly to, what it is that you want to experience, and get some direction here. It feels like you've done the work to be ready to take flight, but now you need to do the work to ground yourself so that when you land in the new chapter of what you're trying to call in, that you're able to like stick the landing, if that makes sense. Will my mom get placement at the memory care place in Oregon? If yes, when? Feels like it's going to be a minute. Almost like maybe needing to kind of be pushy with them. Maybe they take a while for paperwork, or maybe things kind of get jumbled at times with paperwork if they have a lot of applicants. This is a celebration, but it's like needing to push forward the action that isn't necessarily your responsibility to do. So like something on their end needing to be, and maybe it's like it gets denied the first time, has to reapply with different paperwork. It could be that, or it could be needing to kind of push them a little bit. One second, I lost my place. Why does it feel like I'm having an anxiety attack every interaction with Bree? There's a disconnection in the way that you're viewing something when it comes to almost like you see something so clearly that they wouldn't be able to comprehend how you could understand and see it that way. And it makes you kind of be very in your head, but you're trying to be in the moment to understand what's going on. So it's like this battle of like, almost like if you're running up and down this ladder from like your head to the current moment, up and down, up and down. It feels like it's that. Trying to understand and intellectualize a way to get the other person to understand something you see clearly that they're not. How can I attract a more varied genre on my YouTube channel? More varied genre. This to me feels like picking two different topics or two different energies and cycling between them. So if it's like spirituality and then teaching certain things, or like maybe even like lives and videos, it's like taking two things and not tunnel visioning in on them, but like it's like bridging two different communities by having them conversate about the two different elements. So it's like I have one element that I'm focusing on that brings in these people, one that brings in these people, and then I'm fostering conversation that makes them connect, and that is how it starts to grow or expand. What is it that I need to hear today? Will my sweatshirt from your site be here soon? If you email me, I can check on that on my end. What is it that you need to hear today? You've been proof recently that love will overpower hate every time. There's this feeling of like needing to know that your external environment isn't matching your internal environment. It's showing you what you've overcome. So it's like you're experiencing some kind of like frustration or like maybe unhealthy competition from other people, maybe something that's coming up. That's not a reflection of inside. That's showing you what you overcame, or like what you could have become like from what you overcame, but you didn't. How is Steven's mental health? I'm not sure how to get past something that my mind is still a little bit battling with, that I'm not sure how to talk about. If it feels like I'm trying to handle something internally that I'm not sure if I have the tools for, but I'm trying to figure out the tools to do so. Guidance for this week song token. Strawberry, number 69. Some kind of yin yang situation. You're being presented with an opportunity that feels frustrating or feels like someone else trying to direct you so that you can take your power back. That is the cycle that's ending, or the lesson that you're learning. What happened? Do my guides have anything to share with me regarding relocation? There's always going to be some fear of like, will I emotionally be able to handle that feeling of being in a different space? But I feel like you're being guided to go forward with it and know that sometimes we have to swim in the emotions to understand them. So there's this feeling of like what's that bittersweet, like that bittersweet ending type feeling. Don't fear the bittersweet ending type feeling. Go to this list for a minute. Message from my mom. Imagine by John Lennon is the song. Before it can manifest a different way, you need to figure out which way you want it to manifest. There's a change that you've been fighting yourself on making, and it feels like it's a bigger step in the right direction than you realize. There's this feeling of like seeing yourself from a higher perspective of worthiness as you make decisions that may feel difficult, but you know are right. How should I be promoting my shop to get more sales? Could you do some kind of giveaway It's like shifting perspective. And I feel like shifting perspective away from sales will get you sales, if that makes sense. So maybe like either the social media element or some kind of giveaway or some kind of like, maybe like thing that's digital that you generate for free, maybe like a guide or a package, bringing people there that way, it feels like will help generate the higher sales. It may not be that that is what generates the higher sales, but it will bring people to the page. Oh, thank you. What message do you have for me? Get a song, 1 second. Make It Through by Leanna Crawford. It's always darkest before the dawn. There is this feeling of like you needed the perspective shift that you got from watching almost like the wounds that you also have in play in another person. It's like shifting your perspective on exactly how much you've made it through. It feels like there's something that kind of pulled at your heartstrings recently, and it was peeling away this layer of like remembrance when it comes to remembering the power when it comes to the passion behind your words. It's like it feels like you're someone who can speak very softly and make the room quiet to hear you. Like they will want to quiet down to hear what you have to say. And it feels like right now you're being guided to remember the power in that. Because not a lot of people have that ability to kind of make the star in reverse. Not a lot of people have that ability to make the room want to be quiet just to hear what they have to say. And for some reason, right now, that's playing a very significant role in something you're dealing with. Remembering your power in that. A message from higher self to better connect with my guides. There's a need to kind of have a meeting with yourself of sorts and look at the people who have not showed up for you in the way that you needed them to, and not figure out, but like almost like identify what wound could have caused them to act that way. That allows you to release something. Like, okay, this person didn't protect me. When I've seen that pattern before, it's likely been this father wound. It's almost like, and it's not like judgment. It's more like your intuition letting you know, you making space for your intuition to let you know how to release the person from their actions, if that makes sense. Not that you are forgetting, but that you're making space for self-forgiveness in some way by doing that. Would show low be a good move for us down the road? Show low. I feel like yes, it's specifically because it may be leading you towards certain opportunities that you wouldn't otherwise align with. Queen of Cups in reverse, it's like things that typically wouldn't catch your attention will end up being either successful or expansive or positive for you in some way. One more, and then I'm going to go back to the other list. What will happen if I rebrand to focus on mindfulness again, but with some new angle that I didn't do before, and jewelry as a supplement and not focus? I feel like that's a good move. That will help you clearly see how it's like you've ended one focus to make space for the other one to bloom, and then you bring them both back. So it's like that would be the good front runner, and then the other one comes in after it or like in combination with it, but then they get bridged together. So like you build the audience that then purchases the jewelry, so to speak. So I feel like that would be a good move. All right, let me go back to this list. I'm going to close super chats because I'm going to get off in like 23 minutes. It's Gavin's last day of break. Oh no, where was I? Oh, Linda, that's awesome. The doctor could not find my tumor, greatly reduced. I love that. I don't know where I was. Will moving to a new shop work well for me? Not that it won't, but I feel like it's going to take a minute to get your footing. And it may be to kind of wait a minute for the timing to be better. I'm going to try and speed up because I am behind. Will this weekend's events change anything for the positive or negative in my personal life? I feel like positive for you because you're seeing what needs to happen to move forward, but that may be in combination with some kind of increased tension in your external. It's like the tension in the external shows you the right moves internally. Any insight on what my daughter's ex-husband's intentions are towards her and why he is so standoffish with me? Oh. Whatever his issues are, he makes them everybody else's problem or blames everybody else for them, it seems. And I don't feel like he expects you to put up with that when it comes to your daughter. And almost like this is a pattern that he can somehow hide, but once the mask is off, it's clear, and he feels like you would make that change that would bring clarity to everyone. So like once you could describe what you see, it would make everybody else realize what they might not realize about him. I'm trying to see if there's anyone I didn't get yet. Should I leave my job? Guidance from spirit guides. Not until you have another one up and running. Not just like have the job. Like if you could start the other job before leaving, I would say to do that. It almost feels like be cautious of taking any action that could put you into an imbalanced state when it comes to that. So you might have to energetically deplete yourself for a couple weeks while you make that transition, but I would say have one solidly in place before doing that. But yes, if you can get the other one in place. Message from Smokey since I have him home with me now with a song. No, I feel like that was the song. Stand By You by Rachel Platten. There's like this energy of witnessing some form of self-sabotage or where you may be standing in your own way, offering you the opportunity to see where you may be standing in your own way, almost like something that Smokey would be able to witness with their consciousness. I'm bringing this to your attention so that you realize that you may be limiting or restricting yourself in some way. It's like a message of love, though, like helping you to shift perspective. Will do theta healing download shorts on YouTube and TikTok work well to attract new followers? I feel like your focus is better put somewhere else. Theta healing download. I feel like maybe putting in the element of more like the teaching angle or something to that effect. Other than that, brings in clarity. Could you do things that start conversations with people, like getting them to answer questions or something like that? I think that's the missing part, because the healing download, people will listen and like, but not really comment. It's like needing to do something that generates conversation. Where am I? What lies ahead for me in November? Some kind of ending that you've already had is making space for you to kind of use your logic to shift a situation, almost like other end of the rainbow type thing, where you're finding the pot of gold in this bridge that you've had to walk back over. It's like you were on one side of the bridge, and then for some reason you had to come back onto your side of the bridge, and now you're receiving clarity about which direction to head. Bad? Where'd it go? Was it a bad idea to reach out to Kay? Am I just fooling myself thinking that she cares? I don't think it's a bad idea, because it's making you not be in that shoulda, coulda, woulda energy, which I feel like was holding you back from thinking about other things. Like, should I do it? Should I do it? Okay, I did it. Now I don't have to think about that. I don't know if it's going to go in the direction you want it to go. This is walking away unfulfilled, but it's almost like you did what you needed to do either way for the peace of mind. Am I just fooling myself thinking that she cares? I feel like you'd be disappointed by the reality of the level of this person's care. Message from guides and a song. Sarah Bareilles, Brave. Moving forward. Offering your truth. There's going to be a need for you to step out of your comfort zone when it comes to standing in your truth or speaking your truth, or like standing 10 toes down on a boundary. The right decision is going to be the one that makes you more uncomfortable. But like not in a negative way, like in a I'm uncomfortable because I don't typically stand for myself this boldly type way. No, you're mod. You have a blue thingy. This thing. Oh, you can't see my you can't see my mouse. The little wrench thing. Where am I? Message from guides and a song. Outro by Ryan Carvalho. The lyrics aren't popping up. Maybe they were wrong about me and I was right the whole time. Underrated newcomer. Hold on. Sitting on a gold mine. Okay. It feels like you're reading something correctly here. Like a past situation, you're going to soon realize that they or the situation had to be removed because it was a blockage to you moving forward, and it was time for you to move forward. So this is the energy of what didn't work out for you really worked out for you, but you're about to get the replacement of whatever filled that empty space. It'll allow you to see that what didn't work out for you really worked out for you. Is there anything with my husband and I's health that we should be concerned about? You, him. Oh, interesting. It feels like either there's something that could be done for preventative care before it matures into something, or there's something kind of brewing under the surface. Now, I said you and him, you both came out as that character card. So you're coming up as the Empress, he's coming up as the King of Pentacles. For you, I feel like it may be more like the flow of something, or like stress levels or hormone levels, maybe perhaps like that direction. Where for him, I feel like if there's a concern, to get that concern checked. But it's like if there's something, you're going to see signs of it. So if that presents itself, then I would say to not hesitate to get it checked, because there can probably be preventative care that can keep something from getting worse if symptoms do present. Insight from my guides on my next chapter and moving forward. Resurrection by Ryan Oakes. It's like you need to allow yourself to take up space, come out of. It's like you've had to be in this walking on eggshells survival mode for some time, feeling like this dark cloud was like following you, but the skies are clearing externally as they clear internally. So the way to move forward is to clear anything away that feels like a dark cloud in your life, and trust that the external environment will mirror that. I'm going to finish these 4. Just a reminder to everyone, I'm getting off in like 11 minutes. It's Gavin's last day of break today. Will my mother-in-law be okay? I feel like something's progressing, but I almost want to say like not all the way in the clear yet. It almost feels like some issue is going to resurface, not a new issue, but an issue that was already an issue. And then there's slow and steady progress forward. So I would say not in the clear yet, but everything does seem to end up, I almost want to word it as being manageable or maintainable, instead of saying okay, because it feels like there's something persistent that she's going to be dealing with. My hubby did give message. Oh, yay, with music for 25th anniversary. I will remember you came on. You gave me everything you had. Oh, you gave me life. Don't. Oh, I love that. Let me get another song. Message in a Bottle by The Police. Message in a Bottle by The Police. That's interesting because I have a message in a bottle on my arm, and it's both of my parents, how they signed the end of a letter, like a letter they wrote me, and I have that in their handwriting on my arm. And message in a bottle, it's almost like he's signing the letter right now, like saying, yes, that was me type of thing. Bridge Over Troubled Water by Simon and Garfunkel is the message. I'm hearing to get a token. Oh, that's like sending out a signal. 77 is the number on it. He loves you very much, I can tell you that. Any messages for me regarding justice and hidden wealth, tokens or song? Boot. Let's see what that one says. Hold on. 53. Waffle. Oh, no. No, boot. Break up, firing someone, letting someone go, cowboy. Justice and hidden wealth. Cowboy. It's like this energy of having to be aggressive about something, aggressive about uncovering something. I'm kind of seeing a scene of like a cowboy walking into a bar and like holding it up in like a little town thing, almost like needing to force some kind of information to be given to you. Overpowering the veil that you feel to be behind. Let me get a song, hold on. Days Like This by Dermont Kennedy. So it feels like, because days like this is like when people aren't always against you type of thing. It feels like there's someone who has answers for you, but you're going to have to press them, like the person. All right, last one, then I'm going back to the other list. How can my hubby and I make our marriage better after 22, almost 23 years? So Alive by Goo Goo Dolls. Feels like doing things that allow you almost like to explore yourselves, but together helps you to connect. It's like this needing to inject some kind of fun that feels like intellectual fun, like stimulating each other's minds while connecting in some way. For some reason, I'm feeling like those like wine paint nights or like little dates like that. I feel like it's not going to take much, but there's a need to inject some kind of fun into it where you can be almost like reigniting the spark within yourselves, which makes the flame between the two of you bigger. It feels like meditation that feels safe is important. That could also be like learning something together or something to that effect. Oh no, where am I? Health. Okay. Any health issues I need to be concerned about at this stage? There's something that you feel like, oh, that seems to be either something that needs attention or something that needs to be looked into, or it could be like, okay, I feel like I need to focus more on nutrition or focus more on movement. It's like something you're already aware of is where to focus. It doesn't feel like anything's wrong, but it feels like something could be made better. And that could be in like a preventative care way, or that could be in like a, if this builds up in this way over time, then there'll be an issue type thing. Message and song from a loved one. I'm a Believer by the Monkees, and 2006 may be significant. The card says 2006. That kind of came out on its side. You have a masculine energy that's not like a, maybe not a grandfather, maybe younger than a grandfather, maybe like an uncle. Swords in reverse. It feels like there's a message of like never got to say goodbye here. But it feels like you felt this person's presence. Never got to say goodbye, but you felt this person's presence. What is that? Hold on. Number 16. Oh, and 2006 came out. So either 2006 to 2016 is significant, or one or the other. 16. Fork in sausage. Stick a fork in me. I am done. Exhausted. Had enough. The message from that person is whatever's depleting you or whatever feels to be taking all of your energy without giving back fulfillment, you've outgrown it. It's feeling like that because you've outgrown it. Message from spirit guides and a song. Hell and Back by Kid Ink. You can tell him that I've been from hell and back. Wait, where is it? You can tell them that I've been from hell and back. When the heat is on, I fire back. In this cold world, where your lighter's at. It feels like you're leading by example in some way that you're not seeing, but it's having a bigger ripple effect than you're giving yourself credit for. And it feels like because of this, like the ripple effect is being sent out, and what comes back to you is this shift of perspective. Almost like a shift of perspective that allows you to start to either rebuild your social life in a way that you want, or restructure it, or maybe even call in if you've been trying to like find a friend or someone to confide in or something like that. It's like you're coming into alignment with that energy. How will I feel about my work 6 to 12 months from now? It's like I've put in all the work for this, and I feel like because of some kind of external, maybe it's like coworkers, or maybe it's like clients, it's almost like you're still waiting for things that you've put effort into to come to fruition in the way that you want, but like for the other person's side. So it feels like this cycle of completion and then a bit of waiting. Like I almost like a not hurry up and wait, but like a lot of effort and then waiting. Message from my guides. If you keep getting signs that someone's intentions are not pure, or they might not feel like they're for you, there's a need to trust why you're receiving those signs, even before you have some kind of proof of it, and kind of put boundaries in place accordingly. Any messages? I'm going to do about 3 more, and then I'm going to hop off. There's a decision that you made that you're still questioning if you made the right decision. And it feels like you made the decision you had to make to separate yourself from this burden. So you may have kind of some like buyer's remorse in a certain decision, but you're about to get clarity on it. So you won't have that buyer's remorse. Will my cousin be well on our holiday and be able to keep up with the group okay? Well, yes, keep up with the group. Not like, feels like not as much as there may be some falling behind or some struggle to keep up, but well, it feels like yes. Just maybe a little bit extra patience required. Will I be getting the news soon about a new addition to the family? Like yes, but maybe not as soon as you're hoping. It's weird. It may be that someone waits longer than you anticipate to give you the news, or the news in itself takes longer. Like it may be one of those things where you're like, oh, okay, kind of expected that. Why didn't you tell me sooner type of thing? But it doesn't feel like that's personal if that's the case. What does the end of the year hold for me? You're seeing what you're not going to put up with anymore when it comes to either other people or the way that other people's projections are affecting you. There feels like this breaking away of something you felt dependent on. That could be a person, a mindset, a belief system. What does the end of the year hold for you? I feel like questioning a belief system or a person that no longer serves you and making changes accordingly. Aw, let me get a song. One second. Like a Rolling Stone by Bob Dylan. So I'm being called to the line. People say, beware, doll, you're bound to fall. There's something that you feel almost like you're questioning. It's like the Fool card. Like, are you going to take the leap of faith on yourself? The message is to not listen to other people's projections or fears. There's something opening up for you because it's time for it to open up for you. All right, everyone, I'm going to, did I get all these? I'm going to hop off. I will be on in the beginning of next week. I also had my assistant, Brooke, make me a list of true crime cases to kind of update me on them so I can get back to that. Thank you to all my mods, and I will talk to you all soon. Thank you, everyone, for being here.